Intro.
Don't just say the intro, do the intro.
4:01 p.m. on a Saturday, Boston, Massachusetts.
10:01 on a Saturday. Boy hungry.
Guys, I got some news, some terrible news. We got a huge problem.
I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
What the hell is a podcast?
What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis.
Heyo, and welcome to the Always Sunny Cast. I feel the magic. Do you feel the magic? I'm your co-host, Eric.
And I'm co-host Ross.
And this is the podcast where we watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia one episode at a time, scene by scene. We break it all down, we analyze it, we talk about it, and we see exactly what makes it so funny.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have a special guest today. You heard him there on the intro, coming all the way from Hungary. It's our very special returning guest, Billy.
Hey, yo.
Hey, welcome, Billy.
Thank
What's
you.
up, Billy?
Not much. Happy to be here with you guys.
Through the power of the internet, we are talking to you all the way from Hungary, and it's 10 o'clock at night for you.
That's right. Yeah. I appreciate you guys, starting this a little early. I know you usually do this at nighttime, right?
Yeah,
we appreciate you. We appreciate you doing this so late.
We're all appreciating each other. It's nice.
We're all.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, especially for this episode, because this kind of ties into the last episode you were here for on our podcast.
Right.
Where the creation of the Nightman song and Dayman song. So
I was on that one?
Sweet
Yeah,
D
you
is
were.
dating an
Oh,
art
okay.
person.
Yeah.
He tried to trick me into saying it.
Billy. Well, Billy, you're sober this time, so you'll definitely remember.
I am sober.
Well, listen. Today we are talking season 4, episode 13, "The Nightman Cometh." Original air date is November 20th, 2008. Written by Charlie Day, Glenn Howerton, and Rob McElhenney. Directed by Matt Shakeman. And Ross, what's that IMDb breakdown?
All right, the IMDb summary. Charlie stages a rock opera based on his song Nightman and recruits the rest of the gang to help him with it.
That happens.
A rock opera?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a rock? Is that? I don't know.
It's a musical,
I don't know
right?
enough about rock operas to disagree, but
I feel like
What is a rock
Meatloaf
opera?
is like rock opera.
I was
or
just thinking the
something.
same thing.
Yeah, shout out to Meatloaf.
Oh, my God.
Eric's wearing a Meatloaf shirt right now
And a
I'm wearing
meatloaf hat.
shirt right now.
while eating meatloaf. You're a vegetarian, Eric.
You
All
know,
for the joke.
I don't know if this is a rock opera or not. I'm not really sure what classified. You know, it's something we probably should have looked up. I didn't really even realize IMDb classified it as a rock opera.
I think you need an
But-
electric guitar.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Green Day put out a rock opera.
They did?
To me, I think that, like, in order to consider a rock opera, and I know nothing about what I'm talking about right now, you probably need live like musicians and stuff, right? I mean, we do have a live piano, but like, there's not like an ensemble.
And Ross, you got that 2008 trivia for us? What was going on in the world when this was written?
In 2008, the 62nd annual Tony Awards. The best musical winner was In the Heights, which was a musical, and the lyrics and music was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Look at that. So he didn't come out of nowhere.
No, I guess not. He's been slamming it.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. That's a good tie-in. I get it. I get the tie-in. So that makes
I don't get
makes
it.
it good.
I mean, if I knew this was a rock opera, I would have looked up rock operas.
Are you two ready to jump into this?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Cold open, 7:15 p.m. on a Friday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At Patty's, Charlie informs the gang that he wrote a musical. So this starts off here with Charlie coming out of the back room, and he's singing a little ditty to himself here.
Very happy.
Yeah, he's like, come one, come all to a beautiful show. It's going to be awesome. And some other stuff. D-D-D-D-D-D-D-D-D.
It is so funny how he does this.
I've never seen him that happy, I think, in the show.
Yeah, he's real giddy.
He's like giggling, and it makes me happy to see him happy.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that. Yeah, it's like this starts off on such a happy note because he comes out so excited about this.
Yeah.
And he's got a pile of papers in his hands. And when I say
Yeah, it's a
pile of
stack.
papers, yeah, I mean a pile of papers. He's holding
Yellow-
a pile.
Very yellow paper is one thing I noticed.
Yeah, it's a mess. We get the interruption from Mac. What you doing, buddy?
And he says it in a concerned way, like he's worried about his
Yeah.
mental health. Because he comes out of there. Yeah, what you doing, buddy? Like, do you need help or yeah? And he lets him know that he's fine. He just wrote a musical. But the gang is very, very confused. They gotta know why.
They're so skeptical. And they're not wrong. Like, he does have a motive, but he just doesn't tell everybody what it is right away.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting at the end of the reveal, at the end of this episode, is that he actually is doing it for a reason. But he's pretty adamant here that it's no. He did it just for fun. He just did it just because.
Mm-hmm.
But, guys, who's the mark?
Who versus?
Yeah, who are we
There's
versus?
no Mark. I wrote a musical, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but whose face are we shoving it in?
You don't shove a musical in someone's face.
Shove a musical in someone's face is a very funny idea.
It's hilarious. Like the least harmful thing you could rub someone's face in.
And then yeah, this thing with Mac but who versus? Who are we versus? Like this idea is this is an underlining idea that the gang have about everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is always such a huge competition with them. Like they can't do anything. Like it's kind of to them, it's not worth doing unless it is against something.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of competition in if there isn't a competition against another I don't know, outside party, they have to make one within themselves.
That's true.
Internal competition.
Right.
But I gotta say, this episode, there's a couple of these episodes where the gang works in tandem and they all work together and they do something successful. Like they kind of pull off what they are doing. And I gotta say, I love it. It's such a nice change of pace to they're I love when there is no team ups this episode. There's no real conflict between any of them. There's little ones that spurt up, but not anything that's what the episode is about. I love this episode to me is perfect and it flies right by. And I think it is the agreeing. Everybody is so on board that it propels everything so fast. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it does fly. It is a quick feeling episode. No scenes lag at all.
So they're giving him a hard time here about who's his versus, this and that, and he's like, fine, whatever. If you guys don't want your parts, I'll cast someone else, and this gets their attention.
Whoa! We're just trying to wrap our heads around it. I like how they're Charlie kind of teases that threat of well, if you don't want it, I'm taking it away from you, and they're like, whoa,
Yeah, they can't,
easy.
Yeah, they can't if there's any idea of having anything, they snatch it. It doesn't matter what it is or why they're doing it. It's just so funny. Whoa, no. They still want to do whatever this is.
Even despite what they might think about the play or musical, rock opera, they want to do it.
It's unusual, I feel like, throughout Sunny, I've noticed, to see Charlie and, to have the upper hand with the gang and to...
Yes, this is something, Billy, I was going to bring up later because there's a scene that really illustrates it, but this episode is Charlie playing very high status, which we don't get to see, and I love it. I love when Charlie's in charge. There are a few episodes that come out where Charlie is competent and he's in charge.
Charlie
and it's
work.
just a fun... Charlie works a very...
Charlie rules the world.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right, Billy. You're right. That is an interesting thing about this episode is Charlie's high status.
Yeah.
But Eric, what's the musical going to be called?
Dramatic look at Ross. The Nightman Cometh. And then we get the title card. And did you look up what this is a reference to?
Oh yeah, I knew what it was a reference to.
You did. What do you got?
Yeah, Eugene O'Neill, the father of American realism.
The Iceman Cometh.
According
the
to
movie, right? Yeah, the name of the movie is called
it's
The
a play,
Iceman.
a play. The Iceman Cometh. Yeah.
I have here too that it was a movie in 1973. It became a movie as well.
Oh sure, yeah. I don't know anything about it, so I don't have anything to contribute there. You guys have any details about the movie?
I do. I watched the play on YouTube. Actually, there's a like a 3-hour play you can watch. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched maybe 5 minutes of it, but I understand the whole thing from watching it. But it's actually funny because it takes place in a bar, and they're all just like drunk lowlives, and they're always talking about like their ambitions that they want to do, but they just keep like drinking themselves to oblivion and never succeeding.
Interesting.
So it's
Very apropos.
yeah.
People that dream to have a dream but don't do anything.
Yeah, like everything's tomorrow, and
Yeah.
and then it's
looking to a future that's never going to happen.
pretty much.
And this term, like the name "The Iceman Cometh," is like a reference. Like I know for some reason, but like don't really know what it's from. I know it was like a play or a book or something.
Right.
Like,
I know the title "Iceman Cometh,"
Yeah.
but like
Why
I
is
could not
that?
explain the plot of that. I don't know. It just seeps into pop culture.
it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy how we gotta make.
I feel like the
something.
name has been parodied a few times. I couldn't give you any examples,
I
but
could give you one. X-Men, the Iceman.
Simpsons?
There's a character named Iceman, and the Iceman Cometh would always be something that they would do with him.
I know that
okay.
too. So the whole idea is there's an ongoing joke in the play about one of the main characters talking about how his wife was rolling around with the Iceman, meaning like kind of like the milkman. In a sense.
Okay.
That was a thing. People would drop off ice. That was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a famous breakdancer called B-Boy Iceman back in the day. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh yeah.
He did like the sickest baby windmills. It was awesome.
He could head spin with the best of them.
Yeah.
Billy is referencing me. Actually, that used to be my b-boy name, B-Boy Iceman. I actually forgot all about that. I didn't even forgot to even to mention. That's so funny you mentioned that. Yeah, B-Boy Iceman.
Did you used to say that?
One time when I was
in battles,
well, it was because like
the Iceman
That
brought
was
it.
when he would ejaculate.
I wish I was that clever. But when I was in high school, Billy, were you there when there was like a couple like we were in high school and there was a couple girls came over my like downstairs house. I still lived with my parents. We were in high school, and I had this like plaque on my wall that said it was like for breakdancing for this like event or whatever, and so it said my name. So it said Eric quote Iceman Regan. So it's like said my name like that, and she was like looking around my room, and plaque was like on the wall, and she went. Your middle name's Iceman? It's something like I'll never forget. Like how I was like, no. It's just such a funny thing. Like, your middle name's Iceman, and she was so excited. I was like, I wish.
That would be
Yeah,
incredible.
that would be the coolest middle name.
Iceman.
So at a theater, the gang and Artemis discuss the characters of Charlie's musical and who is playing which character. Charlie at the beginning of this is so funny. The gather around. Do you feel the magic? I feel the magic. And he's like moving his hands. Like the way he's moving his hands, he's like so
He's still
excited.
jazzed
about
up.
it.
Still pumped.
I love that. I love that so much. And hey, he brought Artemis in.
Yeah, I love this. We got Artemis back, and she's pulling a lot of weight around here. She, as we find out, she booked this theater.
This is a thing I didn't think could work, but they did this in this episode. They established it in this episode, so going forward, they can do this more. But they can have Artemis come in and be normal.
Yeah.
And it's
Totally.
not that weird.
I mean, this is her wheelhouse. She is an actor.
Right. But it's like, you know how she's so wild and unpredictable, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
She's not in this episode. She's very, like, really professional. But the being professional for them in this situation is weird in and of itself. So you know what I mean? So
She's like
still
the only
Artemis.
grounded person.
Like regular people wouldn't do this at all.
No, they wouldn't entertain it whatsoever. But I think she's just into the idea of the opportunity.
Well, let's get a round of applause for Artemis because she booked the theater that they're at, and she transcribed the script. So, and she went over the script with Charlie and wrote it in like human language.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. It's like it seems like I don't know, maybe too much to write a whole play for somebody.
Yeah, she really came through for Charlie here. And so they're going through the scripts here, and Mac is playing lead boy.
Oh yeah.
They start thinking that this is two parts.
Right, because Dayman is also part of the lead boy character, so Matt gets two parts, and
he's saying in his mind he equates that to two parts.
mm-hmm.
And
So this makes Dennis a little bit jealous,
yeah,
right?
this makes Dennis a little bit jealous. But even Charlie's like, no, man, the Nightman is a better character. Like Charlie even thinks that. Like, that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, so he was saving Dennis for, like, I don't know, a better role. Like, it's interesting that he has created this, like, internal hierarchy.
Well, yeah, he also because the princess character and the lead boy have to kiss and stuff, and he knows that Dennis
Right,
is
so
his
he'd
sister.
already done the
He's
math
already
on
done
that.
the math, and he even mentions it later on when they do switch. He mentions that
Yeah.
this is why. So okay, Max and Billy Boy, but hey, who's playing this troll guy?
Oh, Frank's going to play the troll.
And the way Frank goes like, what? And he's like, that's awesome. Like he acts at first like he doesn't like it, but then does.
Yeah. Can I do it naked?
Yeah, he wants to do it naked because apparently in the 70s that people used to do this like on stage all the time, people getting laid. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not really sure what he's like. Performance art
Yeah,
stuff,
I don't know.
guess?
It's before our time, and I don't have enough information about the 70s acting community, but it sounds like it could have been a thing.
Frank lives a very he's lived a very
Extensive
yeah he's done a lot. I mean,
Like
his orgies and
Yeah, it's true.
Right. Like, there's a thing about Frank where, like, if he needs to be an expert on something, like in one of his past lives, he can just be like, "Yeah, I used to do that."
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and it's just accepted,
Mm-hmm. They're still going through the script.
which is key.
Oh yeah, it's key to like it's just like it's key to like propel stuff to like
Yeah,
have
it
someone there that
helps,
can
like,
propel what's happening. Yeah.
right, to justify what they're about to do.
So they're still going through this script here, and Dee's a little confused. She's a princess that lives in a coffee shop.
Well, you work there. You don't live there.
Yeah, he wants her to read a little more. So already, the waitress, right? Is there
Right.
any?
How is this not ringing a bell for the rest of them?
yeah, I was thinking the same
How are
thing.
they not putting that together?
I don't. That's a good question.
They don't think that's, like, a little bit suspicious?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're making this for the waitress. Yeah, you'd be like, what are you doing, Charlie? You're making this for the waitress. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think.
But I
of
like that it's a princess that works at a
Right.
coffee shop.
Right.
Like, a princess doesn't work.
But why is she in love with a little boy?
Well, he's a young man.
Right, but Charlie wrote boy.
It's a metaphor. You
Is that a metaphor?
no? How could that be?
Because Charlie keeps using this word.
Well, you know it. And Dee brings up, like, a pretty fair point that she thinks the audience is going to think she's a child molester.
And it does sound like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
strongly.
we should say too. Like this episode's going to deal with some uncomfortable things. Like there's some uncomfortable
Yeah.
stuff in here.
Yeah,
that
there's
is
a lot of
hard to talk about, but it is part of this.
there's overtones
Right.
in his play that
Oh yeah,
I'm still
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about. I'm still trying to analyze from Charlie's perspective what it's about.
I'll just mention it right now. There is like this is a theory that's like cobbled together through things on the internet, but that this play really is about the troll is Charlie's mom, and the Nightman is Uncle Jack, who pays rent to live at the house with Charlie. That's the troll toll, the rent.
Okay.
And we know Jack, Uncle Jack is a pedophile. We know
Handsy guy.
He's a handsy guy. We know that.
He gets nuts.
So is this a play about something that happened to Charlie, which is hard to talk about because obviously it's not a funny subject.
Yeah, I'd like to not even think about it.
That would be nice, but that is what that is kind of what they're positing here.
Right.
But it does break apart. Some of it falls apart a little bit, especially where for some reason we don't find this out until the play. But this troll's name is Antonio.
Right.
which I
totally
don't.
takes it out of reality that they're trying to build, right?
So that I don't really understand why this troll was named Antonio. Why this troll even has a name? I don't even. That I don't.
Antonio.
Dennis reveals that like towards the end that the troll's name is Antonio, but it is.
He almost could have never said the troll's name.
Exactly.
I was actually thinking too about maybe it being his landlord at his apartment.
It could be that too.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be that
Because
too.
he's kind of trollish looking. His name's not Antonio, though, is it?
His name is Huang.
Huang.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huang.
Huang. Yeah, his landlord Huang. It could be maybe him. I guess.
You know why I thought that? Because like the whole paying money and then the gun later on, which could be a throwback to the episode where
that's true.
Charlie,
Gun fever.
stands up to him with
Yeah,
the gun.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, we'll get into it later because we're going to see scenes and we can kind of break down the scenes, like because we see a good chunk of this play.
Right. I would say all of it. I mean, if you're to draw a plot based on what we see them perform, like this is unintelligible.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
Like, if we're to like analyze the play,
Yeah.
for what we see
Yeah.
performed,
Yeah.
like this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And the play would be 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right. You're saying the play is going to be longer than what we saw.
Yeah.
Well, they did do the play. Like I was going to wait to the end of this, but we can mention it now. But they did actually put this play on, and they did add songs and add a couple scenes.
Okay, that's true. Because we have Billy to prove that.
Yeah, I actually went to that.
I was going to ask, who went to that? Because they only did it in a couple cities, and Boston was one of them.
Yeah, they did 6. I actually read about it because I don't remember anything. I was really drunk when I went.
Oh, nice.
I do remember, though, there was an opening band that played, like a nu metal band that opened for them, and it was hilarious because, they weren't bad, but it was, like, not my kind of music. And then the part where they stopped their song and generally people would clap, it was just, like, silence and people, like, making jokes or yelling at them. So it was...
Well, because it's a very weird act to put in front of, like, a TV show, because a TV show is drawing like a wide audience, and like, what population of that audience likes nu metal? I mean, it's a weird mix.
Some maybe,
95%.
but
you don't remember. You don't remember anything from the actual Nightman play.
I read about it, and they were like they added some songs, and I do kind of remember like there being some surprises in it. They did like it was basically the episode. It wasn't just the play. They did the whole episode on stage, and
okay.
Actually, beforehand they showed Flipadelphia, which hadn't come out yet. So
I read that too, that they premiered the episode before as well.
And they showed a clip from Very Sunny Christmas, and I remember that, but it was awkward. It was it was really crowded. It was in the House of Blues, and you're just standing there, and it's really hot, and you're really, really drunk, and you kind of just want to go home.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone was.
So let's get back to the episode here. So,
right.
So Mac just interjects here. He changed his mind. He's going to play the Nightman. Completely just changes his mind. He recasts himself.
Mac can just decide what he wants to do.
Oh, I was going to say, too, by the way, this is a perfect example of a group game. Now,
oh, man,
how do I
was going to say this.
Yeah.
This is like a conference.
Yeah, this is a conference group game. Can you explain? This is an improv term. Do you want to try to explain this?
Yeah, sure, I'll go for it.
Okay. Billy, go ahead. So a conference would be is what's considered a group game, which happens in between the beats of a herald, and one member of your group will call everyone over and say, "Hi, I am this person." Like, let's say I'm the principal of a school, and I am making a law that we can't have peanut butter related lunches in schools anymore, and then everyone around you, will be either a parent or faculty, and they will chime in with their 2 cents and try to pick apart what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So based on the peanut butter lunches, what would someone say?
Right. Then exactly, you would have someone that would maybe is, this is going the crazy time real fast, but married to a peanut. And being like, oh, what? My wife can't come to the school functions anymore because she's a peanut?
Yes, exactly.
and then that person has to deal with that. So it's like sort of like the person at the front that came up with the original idea is what you call the voice of reason. They got to play it kind of normal, and everyone else is so wild and crazy. And that's what's happening here in this scene where Charlie's trying to rein everybody in. He's trying to be normal. He's trying to set this. He's trying to get this right. And everybody keeps coming up with all this stuff that's frustrating him. But he's still, but they're still with the momentum, still moving forward. It is just a perfect example of a group game. Yeah.
Right. They bump into confusion, they kind of move past it, and then someone else will chime in with their kind of wacky idea, like, oh, the guy from 311 can't come to, school functions anymore.
Right.
Peanut.
Is that his name, Peanut?
I think so.
What a reference. If we were in an improv scene together and you said that, I would have no clue.
You had no idea. Yeah.
I have no clue. Billy, what do you think about that little bit of improv theory talk?
I like it. It's very informative. It reminds me of episodes of Parks and Rec where, they're doing an actual kind of conference, or they have all the crazy people from town that are, just kind of derailing things. But
that's like a perfect example. Like when, Leslie Knope goes up and like weirdos from the town kind of stand up and say their 2 cents.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
Mac is...
I should have said that.
You should have. Blew it.
Well, Mac is changing characters here because Nightman is badass. He's got eyes like a cat, and he does karate.
And I love this because, Mac is doing this for 2 reasons. One, because, Dennis potentially has the better role, so now he wants it back. He wants what Dennis has, and now he's, like, kind of making this about himself and adding things. Just, like, taking the liberty of adding these extra characteristics. Like, he has cat eyes, and he does karate.
Yeah, because even Charlie goes, like, where are you getting this? He goes, no, I just made it up. Honestly, though, it helps the character.
Oh, totally. What would the guy be like?
I don't know. If Mac didn't show up in that karate gi later on, what would he be wearing?
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable.
And don't you love this where Frank pulls out his phone and like...
Oh, he's already on it?
He's already on this. He's like, hey, Frank, you got a cat eyes guy? He's like, I'm already on it. He's already calling a guy about cat eye contacts.
I love that.
And
That,
obviously,
like,
Charlie's...
fluid, like, they're, like, reading each other's thoughts,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Like, he knew Mac was going to ask. Like, he's already on it.
And this is like obviously, aggravating Charlie to no end, which is very funny.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So then we cut.
We get to see a series of this, too.
Oh.
And, like, certainly Charlie doesn't know where, like, the top really is. Like, he never, like, when he thinks he's at the top, he's, like, nowhere near.
So then we cut to the gang rehearsing a song Dee and Dennis are going to perform, and Dee worries about the lyrics. So they start hearing this singing. These lyrics are so funny. Tiny boy, little boy, baby boy. It is so funny to sing together.
He gets, like, younger.
And it couldn't sound more like a little boy, like, because he's trying to say he's a young man, but the lyrics could not convey more that it's like a little kid.
I love this. They're, like, sitting on these, like, blocks on the stage. You notice that?
Yeah, these like podiums. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Dee kind of stops everything here because she wants to talk about these lyrics. Obviously, they're crazy, and she doesn't want to sing the song. And he keeps saying, no, it's the spirit of a man. Like, it's a metaphor. This is what she's like. I don't think you know what that word means. And
yeah, and then she even chimes in with, like, I'm not making it out with Dennis later.
Yeah, and Charlie says, yeah, that's right. That's why I didn't want you to switch parts. He even kind of says, like, yeah, I know that.
So clear, Charlie has thought this out.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
And they're messing this up for him.
Dee had, like, the funniest line there where she said, I wrote this down, like, verbatim. You're saying that I want to make love to a little baby tiny boy.
Yeah.
Just the order of the words, for some reason, had me cracking up.
Because the lyrics are like that.
Yeah.
Tiny baby. Yeah, like, Dee has such a point. Yeah. And so then, don't you love too Artemis interjecting with, what about a sexually charged embrace?
See, that's a great alternative. I mean, like, that's a pretty good offer for where they are right now with their problem.
That's true, but I don't know if she should be talking to the talent.
The only one with theatrical experience shouldn't be talking to the talent.
Charlie
keeps calling them the talent.
He personifies, like, the director dickhead so perfect throughout this episode.
Yeah. He's like this, like, maniac director. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very controlling.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, he's like, okay, fine, we'll cut the song. But then Dennis, no, just like, no, I like the song. Isn't you like how Dennis kind of comes running over here? Like, wait a minute, I like the song.
Well, he's afraid something's going to get taken away from him, and
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
his spotlight. He needs that.
And he wants Dee to apologize to Charlie. And she's like, no, he wants me to bang this baby. Like the way she says that. And Artemis comes up with like, I don't think we should lose the song. So like Artemis interjects again with how she likes the song. Artemis has barely any lines, and none of them are like that crazy. It's her just like kind of doing stuff like this.
Thank you, Artemis. Thank you very much. Could you give me a second with the town?
And he tells Dennis to take 5 a bunch of times.
Oh my god. I love this though.
Yeah, he wants Dennis to take 5 because he wants to talk to Dee alone. So he's like, take 5. And Dennis is kind of confused by this.
I would like for you to take a 5. Can we have 5 now, please? Dee and I? Can you go over there for 5 minutes? He has to say it several times.
So as Dennis walks away to take 5, Charlie breaks down a scenario and Dee ends up agreeing to do the song.
Okay, Dee, the song is history.
Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that because I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet.
What are we going to sing instead? What should I sing?
What's on the back there?
It's the same song.
And what's on the very, very back page?
Nothing.
Then that's what you'll be singing.
Charlie, this is my big song.
Yeah.
Everybody else has a big song. I deserve to have one.
Do you?
Don't screw me like this, Charlie.
Don't
Come on.
screw you! Oh, I'm sorry, Dee. Let me try and remember something. Let's see. Did Dee write a musical and come to Charlie with it? No! Charlie wrote a musical and came to Dee with it. And the gang. And the gang likes to screw it up and make it about themselves. And take it away from Charlie and ruin his hopes and dreams. So let me tell you something, Dee. Let me break down a scenario for you. I could cut the song, okay, because I wrote it. I could have Artemis do the song, okay, because you did not write it. Or I could strap on a wig and I could do the song myself. So you tell me, little miss all that, what do you want to do? Song or no song?
Song.
Song?
Yeah, song.
So you want to sing a song?
I never wasn't going to sing
You were excited about singing a song, and you want to sing a song.
Yeah, I would like to do it.
Good!
Yeah,
So back up on your podium you go. Thank you. Dennis, what are you doing?
I'm eating because I'm very uncomfortable.
Well, you guys are making... Can you just get on the stage, please? And can we finish this rehearsal?
It was really loud.
I mean,
That's right.
just-
Don't start!
Technically, that wasn't 5 minutes.
Okay, you know what? You guys have me up to here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here. I don't want to be here, okay? Now I have to play the piano, and I'm all up here. So you know what? Let's try and get this down. Let's try and work this down a bit, okay? And you know what's going to do that? Learning the song.
What?
The way it's written.
Let's do it.
Back to the top. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now this clip is a great example of Charlie's high status this episode. Like this is what he does right here is like kind of like not something you see Charlie do all that often.
It's very patronizing to Dee.
And he's like ahead of it too. He's ahead of it. Like the stuff he's because he's saying like okay, he comes up like the first thing he says is like, okay, we'll lose the song, Dee. And it sounds like he's being understanding. He's like, you know what, fine. You know what? You're right. We'll lose the song. And when she's like, oh, what else are we going to say? He's like, oh, what's on the back of that page? Nothing? Oh, that's what you'll be singing. You know what I mean? Like, he's ahead of it. He's like ahead of her with this. You know, it's not, you don't really see Charlie like doing that.
Yeah, totally.
And don't you love this? Like, she's saying how, no, she deserves a song. And his little, do you? That's a great one. And then maybe one of the lines of the episode is, come on, you're going to screw me?
Screw you?
The way he says this is so memorable. It's just like, screw you? Like, you can't believe what she's...
Oh, man, he rips into her so good.
He has a point. Like, they didn't come to him for any of this. He's in charge here. Like, it's either what he's doing or nothing. He does break down a scenario here. He breaks down a scenario for her. So he could cut the song because he wrote it. He could have Artemis do the song because Dee didn't write it. So that's isn't that weird how he's like, I can cut it because I wrote it. Artemis can do it because you didn't write it. It's weird how he like switches like the reasoning.
Right.
Or he could strap on a wig and do it himself. Do you think he would really do any of this or?
No. He knows they're vain enough to want stage time. So this is very manipulative, actually. Like, I think he's holding this like carrot of, stage time over them, knowing even if you're uncomfortable, you're going to do it.
Wow, yeah. It's weird to see Charlie like this on top of it.
It's almost like evil. Like, yeah, I know you're very uncomfortable with this, but like I'm gonna use you for it.
So what do you think, Little Miss All That? He calls her Little Miss All That.
Song or no song?
And by the way, Dee never wasn't gonna sing the song. I mean, she's like, I was never not gonna do it. The way she's like trying to wiggle out of that is so funny.
Oh yeah. So you sing a song? You're excited about singing a song, and you want to sing a song?
It's kind of like mean. You know, it's like pushing it really far.
Yeah, he's very patronizing.
Okay, he's like, okay.
He's super messed up in this one.
Dee agrees to do it. Okay, let's get back to it. And he looks over at Dennis. Dennis, what are you doing? And Dennis's response is so unbelievable. He's eating because he's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's you always forget that like in that like blow up moment, like Dennis and Artemis are just kind of there, like they're in earshot whether they walked away or not.
And just
you
like
know,
Dennis's like weird truthful moment there of like I'm eating because I feel very uncomfortable. It's so like.
Yeah, that's something he would normally not reveal about himself,
exactly.
I don't think.
Which is the way he says it is so. Dennis is very like Dennis has probably the least pushback from anybody in this episode.
Oh yeah, he's very agreeable in this one.
Charlie just wants him to get back up there. They want to do a thing, but technically that wasn't 5 minutes.
It wasn't 5 minutes. Yeah.
Dennis being technical.
I like how he's still like he's chewing as he goes up on stage and.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's still got like chewing and he's chewing going on or whatever. Yeah, because he was like caught in the moment. It was like he was like caught.
Oh yeah, sure.
And did you notice Charlie when he goes back to his piano? He's using his original notes. His like original like notebook that he was holding in that first scene is on the piano.
Well, maybe he understands that better. You know.
He's playing the song too. I mean, Charlie Day's pretty good at piano.
Yeah, he's a musician for sure. He can sing.
I'm just saying we're gonna find out later that he can sing. Like
he's got pipes.
He's got pipes. Yeah, all of them, I would say.
Yeah.
So we cut to the gang rehearsing a song in scene Dennis and Frank are going to do when there is a misunderstanding about what the scene is actually about. I should say Max also in there. Max also in the scene. And so this is the famous Troll Toll. He's singing the Troll Toll song where he should be saying boy's soul. But he's sort of dragging it out, and he's sounding like we all know this. This is one of the most famous things from Always Sunny, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's saying if you want to get in this boy's hole, you gotta pay the troll toll. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in. I love the way he says to get in for some reason.
To get in.
To get in. And when Charlie like kind of like, okay, this is good, great, but and Charlie points out that it sounds like he's saying boy's hole when he should be saying boy's soul. When Frank tries to do it the second time and he still sounds like it, but he does like a different rhythm, it is so funny. Like that second one is so funny to me for some reason. Isn't that like a bit of writing, like to think of that? The boy's hole, the boy's soul.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like so like I don't know. It's like perfectly coincidental that boy's soul and boy's hole sound like pretty much exactly alike.
And like a boy's soul sounds like something you'd be singing about.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? Like in this dramatic play, like about their souls. You know what I mean? Like it's not the lyric doesn't seem out of place.
No, and that's what like makes it work. It's like it's nuts.
Yeah, and this right here might be one of my this might be one of my favorite little moments of this, where he notices that Frank is chewing gum, and he's like, "Spit out the gum," and Dennis in the background goes, "He said no gum." Like
it's just
like
unprofessional.
I guess like prior there was a gum incident, obviously,
discussion.
Because Dennis just goes, he said no gum. Like, what are you doing? He said no gum. Like, I love how Dennis is so on board and listening to Charlie, even about this. Like, he's like, what do you do? Why are you defying the teacher? It's kind of like what Dennis is saying. Like, he said no gum.
I've been guilty of this, though.
You have?
Oh, yeah. Showing up to improv practice or to class just with gum in my mouth just because I came off the street.
Are you not supposed to do that?
It's unprofessional.
What if your character is chewing gum in the scene?
You have to take the gum out and pretend to chew it. Now, this is where so now this is I don't even like talking about this stuff. This makes me very uncomfortable. But of course, this is where Max says we got to be careful about the rape scene.
Right.
So apparently there's this miscommunication because Charlie doesn't see it this way.
Yeah, he's like, what in God's name are you talking about? There is no rape scene.
Yeah, and then even Frank, like he's saying, like he says, saying, no, he's becoming him. That's not what's happening. He's becoming him. And he goes, Charlie says he's not raping him, and Frank goes, he isn't. Like even like everyone else,
Yeah,
like,
there's still
it's
confusion.
not just Mac that thinks.
Yeah, like
this.
everybody else is on board with that odd interpretation.
Yeah, with that interpretation. Yeah, exactly. It's very strange. Yeah. And Charlie's like, no. No, that's totally wrong. That's not what's happening. Let me. And they're throwing the word rape around real flippantly. I don't, it makes me uncomfortable.
When they first, debuted Dayman and Nightman in that episode that I supposedly was on with you guys.
Yeah, right. You remember that just like you remember the Always Sunny Live Nightman. Yeah.
They were doing the same thing with his lyrics, misinterpreting what he was saying. Even though what he was saying was very, very.
That is right. That is true. That's a good point. I forgot about that. They do mention how like when the Nightman. Oh yeah, come
so inside
wrong.
me.
It's so right, man. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like,
right. That was
yeah.
another song that sounded a lot like rape.
Yeah, I know you don't even want to say it.
I don't want to say it. I mean,
yeah. It is a touchy subject, but that is, Always Sunny deals with these touchy subjects to
Just say sexing from behind.
Yeah, that's how Dennis puts it. Because even Dennis, like understand, like misinterpreted it, and mentions it here. How it's
sure.
Sort of like,
and he's usually our, most level-headed, I guess, or.
And he's our most loyal to Charlie's play here.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's like, no, let me run you through it. You come over like after you pay the toll, you come over here to the bed, and the way Mac's like, oh, I get to cross the stage is a perfect time to show off my. I'll put on a clinic.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to showcase some skills. Just put on a clinic.
Isn't that so crazy?
It's crazy to me how confident Mac is about his skills.
He says people are going to want to see that. Because they say, no, don't do that. No, people are going to want to see it.
Yeah, they're going to want that. Like, it's weird to me that he's like, and then we see how bad he is, and why does he think he's so good?
People liked it, though. People like it.
I mean, for the wrong reasons.
So he comes over and he's like, okay, then you come over to him, and Mac's like, okay, I'll jump up here like a cat. And he does it, and whatever. And Charlie's like, okay, whatever, fine.
Yeah, he's just fine. Like trying to move it along. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And he's like, oh, maybe I'll get behind him like this, and then Frank can throw the blanket over, and then no one will see the penetration. And like, this is where like Charlie's like can't even handle it, and then that's where Dennis is like, oh yeah, the sex thing from behind, like no one can see. So like they all think what is happening is Charlie's like, no, like he's becoming him.
Yes,
it is weird. It is
that would be a metaphor. That would be like the only time we're actually getting some sort of. Do you notice Mac meows when he hops up?
No, I don't think I noticed that. Does he?
He hopped up and actually meowed.
Dennis does a really hilarious face too when he jumps up.
Charlie's up to here. He can't take it anymore. Then we see Charlie jumping out and surprising the waitress with a play she doesn't want to see. So this is the same place that Dee jumped out and asked the waitress to go on a ladies' night.
Oh, no shit,
That's so funny. They're both doing this to the waitress.
They're both doing this to the waitress. Is this one of her walking spots? Or?
I made a note. I made a note about how funny his backward jump from behind the car was, because he was like, he jumped backwards, but it was so fast that I can't understand how he did that. Like,
it's very sudden.
Yeah.
The more he like sprang up backwards. Yeah. He has he's a free ticket. Oh, first he was looking for $100 bill. I don't know.
Yeah, he lost it somewhere. He can't find it.
so he has a ticket to a musical that he wrote, and I love her response of, "Oh, great, a free ticket to a show I don't want to see."
Yeah.
and he starts like kind of like leveling with her, being like, okay, for real, here's the deal. Like, if you go to this, I'll leave you alone. And she's like, oh, you'll stop, following me home, and calling me at 3 a.m, saying like he was in a car accident because it listed as a medical emergency contact, and she went.
That's the weirdest part.
Yeah, and she like kind of went. Yeah, and he's like,
Oh, it's nice that you came.
stop listing me as a medical contact. I think of you that way.
Yeah, that's so. Oh my god.
Would you think that was like a reference to when they got into? Was there like an episode where they got into a car wreck or something like that? I mean, I know he got ran over, in the first episode of the second season, and then he also wasn't there a scene where like Mac
got in the car accident, not Charlie.
Oh, Charlie wasn't there, right?
Charlie was there, but only Mac was in the car. Remember, he ran into the wall.
Well,
Dennis
then
drunk driving.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Dennis and Mac drunk driving, but was
Yeah,
I was
Charlie gets
actually
crippled.
thinking of him getting hit by the car, but you're right. I mean, I guess a car accident could be you getting hit by a car. It's still a car accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this was a different thing, or this was new. But apparently, yeah, he's listing her as.
They get in a lot of car accidents, I think.
Yeah, they probably do. I can see them getting into a lot of accidents all around.
No, Eric, you used to be my emergency contact.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did I know that?
Also,
Yes, you did.
for the viewers, there was a car accident between Ross and Eric once.
We've actually told this story.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We've told this story before.
I was on the episode when we
definitely
did
have.
that. I thought it was really
Oh,
funny.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I plowed right into Eric.
Yeah.
But yeah, for when you sign up to improv classes, they make you
that's
sign like an emergency contact form, and I used to list you. And relationship was the only person that knows that I do improv. That's what I would write.
It was true.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is so nuts. That's nuts, right?
Yeah. No, I do.
So but Charlie kind of like breaks kind of character in some weird way, and he kind of gets really sincere, basically saying, "Listen, if you go to this, I'll stop, following. I'll stop doing all that stuff, listening to emergency contact. I'll stop doing all of that. If you just come to this, that's how much this means to me."
Right.
And she takes the bait. She takes the ticket, and she's regretting it already.
And she turns around to walk away, and immediately he starts following her while whistling.
Right. And he whistles as he like goes off here, and the whistle is like the music that would be the music when you go out to a break, except it's him whistling.
Sure.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's a nice fun transition.
Yeah, like usually the Always Sunny music would kick in right there, and I think that is kind of like the jaunty tune he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. I didn't notice that.
I think he was doing the music on the way out to a break, just doing it himself.
Because it would have been a natural commercial break. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention earlier, too, that I kind of forgot about was when they were doing the song between Dennis and Dee, when he went back to the piano, he did a count, like a, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, right.
But it was like perfect timing for the music to come back in. It was like the tempo was perfect, and then when the episode comes back in, it's like he's counting into the music that returns
into the next
Yeah.
scene.
And I don't know if
wow,
generally
yeah.
there's a commercial break there because I, got it on Amazon without any commercials. But
Did you have to buy this episode?
yeah, it was $1.99.
We'll reimburse you.
There's no Hulu in Europe. It's dog shit.
There's no European version of Hulu.
I don't know. Maybe that's a good point.
That might be
That's
something you
something
want
I
to look
think you
into.
should check out. How long have you been there?
Couple months.
Couple months? Yeah, you might want to check that out.
Yeah.
We cut to the gang preparing backstage before they perform the play.
This is opening night.
Opening night, they're so
This
excited.
is a big deal.
And first costume reveal we get is Mac.
Yes.
First, he's standing here next to Charlie. So Mac is wearing has he worn this before?
A gi?
A black gi with
Yeah, has he worn a black gi before?
No.
So he's wearing this like a black gi, and the sleeves are cut, right?
Yeah. Well, those normally yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I think they're
if
cut.
not hemmed.
yeah, they're
it's
frayed.
It's either
they're frayed.
that's the way it's made or he cut them. Like it looks good. It's not like torn,
and Charlie's looking out the curtain here, and they're like, they're supposed to start 20 minutes ago, and the waitress finally shows up. So the waitress is 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
It's sold out too. The play is like.
I was gonna ask where these people.
Yeah,
came
where are
from.
these people coming from? Why did they want to go see this?
I gotta say they put on a successful, like it was successful what they did.
Yes.
And Charlie's plan wasn't successful, but everything else was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they completed a play in front of everybody.
Better than anything we could have done.
Yeah, for sure.
I love when Charlie starts freaking out. She's here. She's here. Charlie's like, who? I mean, Mac's like, who's here? He's like, Mac isn't. You know what I mean? He's not.
Yeah, it's still weird that they haven't all put this together yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he gathers them all around for last minute things, and let's talk about the costumes because this is where we see everybody.
They're hilarious.
They're unbelievable,
ridiculous looking.
Some money was spent on this whole thing.
Dude, I was gonna say, did the costumes come with the theater?
No,
or...
Charlie mentions he rented them.
Okay, because he
says
is
he
weary
ripped
of D. Ripping the costume.
Ripping
so,
the pits.
like, is he returning them? Or you rent them? Like, I don't.
Yeah. He like I think he rented them, or Frank must be funding this, right?
I guess so. I mean,
because this we'll see later, like the stage and stuff. Like,
yeah,
this is stuff
it's
like
nice.
like if we were going to put on a play, we're not capable of a lot of this stuff. You know
yeah,
what
we
I
need
mean?
like people that can build stuff.
Yeah, like
There's a lot that goes into it.
so. Dennis, let's talk about Dennis.
Okay,
He's wearing a blue onesie,
a baby blue onesie,
a baby blue onesie, and his makeup is insane.
blush. Like he has like
So
cartoonish,
creepy.
rosy cheeks. He looks
Frank-
like a baby that woke up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he couldn't look more like a little boy.
Like a feverish baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's like 2.
And Frank is a troll, and Frank's costume's pretty.
He looks
good.
awesome.
Dude, his is so good.
Yeah.
The prosthetics, the hair. You know,
Yeah.
he even has like a cane staff thing.
Yeah, he spent some money.
Yeah.
And and also Charlie. Charlie, we should say, is like trying to dress like a theater, like a theater. He's
Yeah,
all in
he's doing his
black.
like Bob Dylan look.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, he's like all in black. It's like this theater director look.
Mm-hmm.
And D, who I think is the absolute best.
Oh my
is
god.
in like a Mario Peach, like a Princess Peach.
Dude, I was gonna say the same thing. She's wearing even like has a tiara. It's like a pink like dress.
It looks
It's
like the kind of dress my daughter would wear. Like she has all of her princess dresses, and
she has princess dresses.
Yeah, she got like 15 of them. It's insane, and she makes me change them every 10 minutes.
She's a princess.
Yeah, she wants
Does
to
she
be-
go out in the world in these things?
I sent you a picture of her eating ice cream the other day. She was wearing a Princess Anna dress.
Oh, I was, fixated on the ice cream. You said it was white chocolate. That sounds good.
Well, she was eating a
Yeah.
strawberry one. I ate the white chocolate one, and it was
Oh.
very good.
Yeah,
Fair
she's
enough.
that is what she's like wearing.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a Halloween store princess dress, like, and she's worried though because it's a little tight and she can't lift her arm, so she's gonna rip the pits.
Yeah, which we'll see later. Her try to lift her arms and she can't.
Right, and I was gonna say that later on, like when she's doing the choreography, especially at the end.
Yeah.
it is so obviously noticeable that she can't lift her arms.
Yeah,
up.
her
It's very
hands
funny.
go to her shoulders. Like,
It's very funny.
I think it would look pretty funny with her to have ripped armpits on the dress, like just to see that.
that would be funny. It'd
and also too because
be funny if she did it anyway.
That's what I mean, yeah, because Charlie said not to, because she does throw the song
Mm-hmm.
in. We'll talk about it when we get there, but yeah, she does not listen to Charlie. Charlie wants to go over a couple last-minute things. He wants to introduce Gladys. Russ, you got anything on Gladys?
Yes, Gladys is played by May Laborde. She was born in 1909, and she's from Fresno, California. She unfortunately passed in 2012. She was 102 years old, and she got, I guess, her TV credits start in 2006. She was in the titles Evil Bong, Blue Collar TV, The Heartbreak Kid, and Pineapple Express.
Wow, so there's she's in 2 different things that are like weed related.
Yeah,
That's interesting. She actually comes back in an Always Sunny episode.
that's right. The dentist
She
system.
makes an appearance. Isn't that interesting? Gladys comes back.
Mm-hmm. You know,
So-
I think that's next season.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, doesn't it seem like it's so far away? But like we're
Oh,
hitting
yeah.
all the major ones like now.
So he introduces Gladys here, but did Gladys told him that her and Calvin Coolidge were good friends, right?
Like 100 times all morning.
Now, tell me something. Is Gladys improvising here?
She does, like, I've seen, like, some of the outtakes
Okay.
for the season, and there is a bunch of, like, takes about this, and they're all really funny. The gang can't keep it together. Like, they're, like, laughing at, like, how mean Charlie's being, and then there's also ones where, like, Gladys is giving it back to Charlie.
That is so funny.
And it's funny both ways.
Gladys's voice is, like, she has, like a voice. I like her voice. There's something about her voice.
Yeah.
To me.
She was, like, born to be an old lady.
When she says that when her and Calvin Coolidge used to be good friends, and he's like, you told me that like 100 times. She says, how many times? And then he says like 100, and then she goes, oh, like that seems improvised. Because like, why would you say how many times? Like, it just seems improvised. And then when she starts shushing him, that totally seems improvised to me for some reason. I don't even know.
There is play with that. In the outtakes.
So yeah, because Charlie's like giving it back to her, like getting frustrated with her, and she just starts shushing him, which is such a funny thing to do.
Yeah.
And Gladys knows all the songs. She's gonna be filling in.
Do you know about Calvin Coolidge?
Oh, you got some info on Calvin Coolidge?
Do you know who he is?
No. Is he a president?
Yes, he was the 30th president. His nickname was Silent Cal, and apparently he gave great speeches, but was very quiet otherwise. He was once at a dinner party, and the man seated next to him said, I made a bet that I can get more than 2 words out of you. And Calvin replied, you lose.
Wow. That sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, like one-liner.
Yeah.
You lose.
You lose.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot to look up Calvin Coolidge. I meant to, and I forgot. Very nice. Thank you, Ross.
You're welcome.
Isn't it interesting here where Dennis starts freaking out when he starts realizing about Gladys?
Yeah, he's uncomfortable with this curveball.
Yeah, he's hanging by a thread, he says. And even like when it starts happening and they start going out on stage and Dennis is all nervous, this was like me at my first like improv show, like the first time I performed on stage. That's like how Dennis is acting is kind of how I felt.
Yeah, totally. I know that feeling. It's like you don't know what's going to happen and you're terrified, but the whole point of it is you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I remember like when I was in high school and I was in the talent show. It was pretty scary to go out.
Yeah, you did Beastie Boys, right?
We did that, and then we did our band FNA. where sorry, Ross had this beautiful PRS guitar. Very expensive, shiny
it was a
red.
Parker.
A Parker.
It was a Parker guitar.
Sorry, it was a Parker Fly. That's right, it wasn't a PRS. And like the first strum, his guitar strap just breaks. Just falls
it just like
straight
fell
down
on the floor. Well, I caught it when it was like 2 inches before the floor, and I had to
there was like a 5-second pause where you just did this like
delay.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like look up at the sky.
Yeah, I had to take a knee and play the rest of the song out.
You did.
That was such a bummer. Thanks for bringing me back through that awesome memory, Bill.
You brought it though afterwards.
So this is where
right.
Dee says she can't move. She wants to rip the dress, and no, it's a rental. It's expensive. And by the way, Dee's throwing in an extra song.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen,
dude. I mean that might be that back and forth of it's gonna happen, and I will smack your face off of your face. Might be the lines of the episode for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
It's gonna happen.
She knows at this point, like, it's beyond the point of no return and that she can do whatever the fuck she wants out there.
Yeah, it's like, come at me, bro.
And the music starts. Like, it's starting. Dennis gets so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You know there's a weird little thing here where Dennis has, like, a rope tied around his wrist. And
then we don't see it.
Well, that is, because that is later on
with Antonio,
with the scene with Antonio where he has the rope around his wrist. But yeah, for some reason he has it now.
Yeah,
I like how you can when the curtains are opening and the music is starting, it's like what you see in earlier episodes where you can just hear them arguing with each other in front of a bigger audience. So like the entire
yeah,
time
I was
they're
gonna say the
back
same
there,
thing. Like, there's a hush over the crowd, but like you can hear them arguing backstage, and the curtain's still closed.
So then we
Unbelievable.
cut to the opening of the play, with the first scene being between Dee as the princess and Dennis as the lead boy singing a song.
The baby boy.
What is this strange feeling?
I feel so strange inside.
It's so strange but appealing.
I feel good.
Tiny boy, little boy, baby boy, I need you. Tiny boy, little boy, I want to touch you, boy.
If you only knew what I'd do
I
to
need
you
boy.
if I was that boy that's inside of you.
Tiny boy, little boy, baby boy, I need you. Tiny boy, little boy, want to make love to you, boy.
If you only knew what I'd do to you if I was that boy that's inside of you. Inside of you, my boy.
Oh,
Boy.
And I included this. This is one of the clips because I had like this song is so good. Like this is good.
Charlie writes good
Do
music.
you know what I mean?
Dude, I
Yeah,
think
this
all the
is
songs
good.
are really good.
Like
They're fun.
there's a point of there's a point of this song where Dee's going a boy, a boy, a boy, a boy, and she's like kind of like and it's like it sounds like they have good harmonies together.
Right,
like,
right.
they're
They go
pulling this
together
off.
real well. Even Dennis is like doing some ooh ah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the oohs and the ahs are so funny.
And dry
And especially
humping.
the one
Yeah,
one of
the
the
dry
first
hump.
lyrics too. One of the first lyrics too, when it's like, I feel so good. Like it doesn't even rhyme. It's like a weird. I don't really understand that.
There a Futurama quote like that where you can't have your characters say how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
Oh yeah, that's right. So let's talk a little bit about the set. We don't see the back of the set just yet. We'll wait on that.
Mm-hmm.
But they do come out. Dennis comes out in like a big giant chair.
Yeah, it's like a wildly oversized chair, and his feet
To
don't even
even-
touch the ground,
He's a
which
little baby
also
boy.
makes him look like a tiny baby boy.
That's what. Yeah, to even accentuate more that it's a child, like a little child, they put him in this big giant chair. I know. And they it's on wheels and stuff. It slides out. Like this is. Like that's right there is more than anything I could
Built,
together.
yeah, of course. That's like heavy
Like
duty.
who built this set? Like who did all this? Did they do it?
I don't know. It looks really good though.
Artemis
Like-
has
Yeah, we'll
connections, probably. She probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And Dee comes sliding out on the other side of the stage, and she's in this sort of coffee shop.
Yeah. We have like a countertop, and we see like a coffee pot.
She's holding an empty coffee pot. Yeah,
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she's wearing a princess dress and an apron, too.
she is. She is. She's wearing She is.
That's a
She's wearing,
good
the apron
point.
is over the princess dress. Yes. And they do this like they're doing this song, and they're doing this dance. And at one point they're like humping. They're doing like kind of like a hump like on the sides
Yeah,
of the
like
stages.
a
like
yeah,
the way
the air
dance is.
humping like towards like the exits of the stage.
Yeah, Dennis's humping
And
is
then-
insane.
And Dee can like barely move. It's very funny.
No,
And
like
at
the beginning. I'm sorry. The beginning words to this like play like oddly reminds me of that like Barbie girl song where it's like, "Hey Barbie," it's like, "Hi Ken." It's like it has that like weird back and forth. That's like we don't need this at all.
And they do have a hug at the end of this. I don't know if I'd call it sexually charged, but there is some weird hug at the end of this little scene.
It's sexually charged.
So as the scene is over, Dee decides to add her own song as Mac and Dennis watch from the wings. Now, this little Dee thing here is incredible. I can't stress how much I love this so much. The song, what she's saying, the fact she's doing it, like everything, the rhythm of the song, like everything about this is absolutely perfect for me.
No, you're right, because it's like it's weird, like self-promotional too. At this, like it didn't have to be. Like first of all, it's her like, redeeming herself for the song she just sang, where
Yeah,
it sounds
the
like
song sounds like
she's a child
little boy.
molester, and now she's like putting herself out to men. She's like, most people consider me 8 or 9 out of 10.
That's my favorite line.
I'm available after the
8 or
show.
9. Yeah. Oh, it is just so perfect. Like, it is just like, and it's sort of like when it is sort of like when Frank's like, let's write a song about how I don't like
Diddle kids.
Yeah, and then they're like, there's no easier way for people to think that than to write a song about it. And Dee's like kind of like doing that, like just to be clear, I don't know, like it's just so funny, like, and like the idea of like she can't separate the character from herself,
Right.
Like nobody thinks the actors up there when the things that they say are things that they do in their real life.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of acting. It'd be a documentary if it wasn't.
We got a nice quick little shot of Charlie being pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to have a face by the time he's done with her.
Yeah, he's mad. And then we cut over to Mac and Dennis watching, and she's bombing, according to Mac. I wish we could hear what the rest of Dee is saying.
I know. I really wish we got like an insight into what's going on right now. Because where did she go from there?
It's a longer song than you think it is.
Yeah. So, like, we even get like a shot of the backstage, which I think is interesting. There are like these like makeup chairs and like big light bulb beauty counters. Like,
yeah,
I think it's interesting that like we get to see that at all. You know,
it's very classic backstage.
Right. It almost seems like more than like a local theater would have or something.
Yeah, maybe. But Dennis wants to know: was he awesome?
Oh, dude, you froze up there.
Yeah, Mac just tells him he sucked, like for no reason. Like Dennis was fine.
Yeah, no, he was good.
Yeah, like what is Mac's problem here? What does he mean he froze up?
I don't know.
But
you heard a lot of laughs out there, bro.
Yeah, Dennis goes saying I got a lot of laughs. Now this is a kind of a this is an interesting like kind of confusion here where so Dennis thinks that there should be laughs. As where Charlie says it's not a comedy and they shouldn't be laughing. He says that later on.
Yeah. If this isn't a comedy, then what is it?
Oh, to Charlie, this is a dramatic telling of like a this is an epic telling of a story.
Right, but he wanted to marry someone at the end of this.
Yeah.
Usually a comedy ends in a marriage or something very uplifting.
Right. I don't think that Charlie thinks this is a comedy.
It's interesting, though. I mean, I don't know what he classifies this as.
I don't think Charlie has like the mental capacity to differentiate between comedy and tragedy, and I think he's just like, this is a musical, and
this is a collection of thoughts I'm just putting out there.
Basically, yeah. But really good music.
But either way, whether it's a comedy or not, Mac thinks laughs are cheap. He's going for gasps. and that could be one of the most famous lines from Always
totally
Sunny in general. Laughs
gas
are cheap.
or
I'm
it's
going
at.
for gas. I mean, I must have said that before we went out on stage.
Oh, totally.
There's something I had to have said. Like, to
you
say
have. Can't confirm.
It's just it was such a funny thing to do. Them. I'm going for gasps
at a comedy show. Yeah. And those do happen.
Those do happen, unfortunately. So we cut to the next scene, which is Mac as the Nightman paying the toll to Frank as a troll. Mac comes in here with a nice little hiss.
I like how we get that piano in the background.
Yeah, a little piano motif. Boom, boop,
ding,
Gladys.
ding, ding. Yeah, it's like that tinkering sound, and we get him like peering through like the panels.
Yeah. He doesn't. We see his makeup. He has like cat eye makeup on. We should say through the eyeliner. He looks nuts. And he does the hiss, and everyone laughs, and that's when it cuts to Artemis and Charlie, and Artemis is saying, "Oh, we're getting laughs," and this is where he says it's not a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes walking in the stage, and he's snapping. He's doing like this snapping thing.
Yeah, he's doing like the West Side Story.
West Side Story. And this is where we get a look at the set. Let's talk about the set. This is crazy.
Can we talk about the set, Eric? I've been dying to talk about the set.
Let's talk about the set, please. So the set has been painted to look like Charlie's room. Charlie's room now, like as an adult.
Right.
Yeah. I've
So we
noticed
get that bed right dead center.
We get the bed dead center, yeah.
German Shepherd painting.
We have the German, so they repainted that. Like someone painted they painted it over again on the wall.
Right.
That's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's
To
incredible. And
include
there's
that
no
detail that like kind of solidifies, like
the painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that painting and they put that paint. I remember I watched this episode maybe a month or so ago, and I texted you a picture of the painting on the thing. I go, I couldn't believe this is in Nightman. Like I can't. And to make it even wilder, remember a couple episodes ago we noticed a gnome.
Yep.
On Charlie's.
That's there too.
There's a
Unbelievable, right?
There's a there's like a little table counter, and they painted a gnome on it, and there was one in Charlie's apartment, like just a couple episodes ago.
Things in Charlie's apartment solidifying like this is like
but
Charlie.
This is Charlie's
You know what I
apartment.
mean?
He's supposed to be a boy at this point, which is weird. Like, why would the boy?
That's
not?
why, yeah.
So that got my other theory of like maybe the Nightman is Frank because he sleeps with him in the bed, and
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's something.
I mean,
yeah.
and that's true. They do sleep together.
and maybe it was like him becoming the Dayman is becoming Frank in a sense of like getting some sort of confidence from Frank.
Being like an adult.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, like growing up
Yes.
once.
I like that theory. I like that theory because it doesn't involve stuff I don't like.
Uncle Jack.
Yeah,
True.
it doesn't involve. I like that theory much better. There's also like the shelf that's behind the pull-out bed. That shelf is also like painted on, and the closets. Like
Yeah.
where the closets
Those
are.
doors
also
that we don't even get to ever go
Yeah.
in Charlie's apartment, we get to see them at least.
A really gross
Crazy.
green paint on the walls.
Yeah, it's like the same color as the apartment. It is crazy. Like the
Yeah, it
detail
has a
that.
dinge feel too.
Yes, and that like little detail that they never once call attention to
Mhm.
is like so, like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's awesome.
So Mac's doing the snapping thing. People are laughing. He doesn't like that. He wants the people to stop laughing at him. and Frank starts
And he's like
singing
audibly
his,
like, "Oh, come on."
yeah, he says
Stop
it like out
laughing at
loud.
me.
yeah.
And Frank starts singing his Troll Toll song. Gotta pay
Mhm.
the Troll Toll. He hasn't modified the way he sings it at all. Still sounds the exact same.
Yeah.
And
Baby boy's hole.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. If you want, but yeah, it's and he gives the Nightman pays the troll like a bag of coins, like this is Skyrim or
A
something.
satchel
like
of
Game
coins,
Thrones.
yeah.
Yeah, a satchel of coins. And
Which
there
real
is-
quick to cut in there, that kind of fits in with my original theory of the troll being his landlord, because Frank comes and he says he's going
Right.
to pay his rent, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, I like this. All right, fine, cool.
It's true.
It is interesting here though, where Frank, the troll takes the money and goes and sits on a recliner that is also on stage, something that is not in Charlie's apartment.
Right.
There's like this recliner that he sits on.
I mean, we got to keep an eye out for a recliner.
Yeah, definitely. And then Mac comes karate kicking across the stage.
Karate kicking in.
Karate kicking, karate chopping. He's doing the noises.
Yeah, we see like a spin kick.
Front
He's
kick.
even making his own sound effects, like
It is very funny. And he jumps up on top of Dennis, and then Frank throws the blanket over him. The lights go out, but apparently Mac is a boner.
"Shut up, dude! Don't ruin this for me."
Don't ruin this for me.
Wow.
You can hear like these thud noises from Mac humping Dennis if you listen really closely. It's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and there's it's so quiet in this place. Like it's absurdly quiet, and the lights are off, and then you hear them kind of like argue a little bit, and you can see like Dennis get up and just leave. Like it's such a weird end to a scene of a play. Like you wouldn't even know.
He
what's
like
happening.
storms off like at the end of it. He's like fed up.
And
What'd you think of Dennis's vocals there? We didn't get to talk about like the back and forth of it, like the
there's
"What'd you say?"
Yeah, part of the Troll song has a little call and response thing.
Yeah.
With not only Dennis but Mac too.
Mhm.
But
Hey,
you're right.
hey,
Yeah,
hey.
it's like Troll Toll, what'd you say? Troll Toll, hey hey hey, or whatever Mac says or whatever.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah,
Dennis has
yeah.
a great voice too. I mean,
He does. Yeah, I think they
Who?
all can do it.
Yeah, totally.
And Charlie's going to smack everyone into tiny little pieces. Charlie's very violent this episode.
Oh man, he is up to here. I'll tell you.
Fucking up his vision. I mean, they did everything they said they were going to do beforehand, and
Yeah.
He's playing the angry director, like very controlling.
We then see a scene from the play where Dennis, as the lead boy, becomes Dayman and fights Mac as the Nightman. And it starts here with Frank, the toll here on the recliner, and he wants the boy to come over and scratch his itsy bitsy teasy wozies.
The
Toesy
itchy
wozies.
witchy toesy wozies.
It's
Itsy
crazy.
bitsies.
It's crazy. And this is where Dennis goes, no. He's like, what? No, Antonio. He names him. He names him Antonio. Which is something I didn't catch until like this kind of analyzing.
Oh, really?
The episode. Like I never
No,
caught that his name was
I kind
Antonio.
of remember him saying no, Antonio, but like now watch it and process it and be like, why did he give that name at all?
such an arbitrary
Yeah.
choice of a
Yeah.
name.
Is so weird.
What a trivia question too for like bar trivia, like
Mhm.
the actual name of the
troll.
troll. Yeah, from the troll toll.
Antonio.
And as you can tell, the lead boy is not a boy, but a man. See? I love how Dennis goes, see? As he's like undressing.
Yeah, he like clumsily like takes off his like.
And this is something I did not notice until this analyzing rewatch, is that it's the same rock god outfit from the episode where Dayman first came.
No way. This is the first time you're realizing that?
This like sit down and watch through is the first time I realized he's wearing the rock opera.
Oh my god.
The
this
cod
must have been
piece.
something special for you.
The
I-
cod
I
piece
like
is different. It's a black
Oh,
one.
is the cod piece a little different?
Yeah, it was like magenta in the original one, but now it's black.
Okay, yeah, but it's still this silver,
It is,
like silver
Rock
like,
god outfit?
like, rock god outfit. Yeah, it's like bell bottom spandex. I don't even know how to
David
explain it.
Bowie-ish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This and like that to me. And again, subtle. Like that is so subtle. Of like, oh, he just has this costume around. Like,
Yeah, well, you know, like I was saying in the last episode, this episode is like kind of special because, you know, as viewers, you've been like kind of trained to know the characters, you know their customs, you know their games, you remember that past episode. It was kind of like a smash hit of season 3, and they're bringing that back for you in like this weird reveal at the end, and I think it's like, whoa, it's such a culminating moment.
yeah. And it's also he also sings the Dayman song in it.
Right.
It's interesting. So yeah, he takes off his outfit here and he's wearing the rock god outfit, and someone from the back opens the back door and just like kind of gingerly holds out a gun. Like it's like
Yeah, he like
it just
kind of walks backwards towards like the door opening and
Yeah.
clumsily reaches for a gun.
And this weird line of the troll going, "What is that?" And Damien saying, "You know what it is, bitch."
Yeah, that's not Damon, that's Dennis just breaking character.
And he pulls it back and he's like, "Bang, bang, bang." He's just saying "bang." Bang,
Yeah, you
bang,
think
bang,
they would have
bang.
like done like a piano noise for that or something?
Yeah, something like that. And don't you love how Dennis gives the gun back?
Yeah, he walks. You think you just like tuck it
Throw it on
somewhere?
the bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah, he walks back. He gives the gun back, and that's where the Nightman enters, and he enters with another hiss. And they do this little stop down because they start doing like dialogue, but Mac is like, "You can't tell me what to do." And Dennis is like, "No, you're skipping like the line." And then like he's like, just go on because I don't know what it is." And I'm such a better actor than you. They do this like that thing.
Dude,
they
I
do,
love that back and forth. Like to do that
Yeah.
on a stage in front of people. And the way Mac comes out and does that, you can't tell me what to do. And he like even points to someone in the audience. Like he's doing crowd work, you know? You're like
The entire time they're just like constantly looking at the audience, and it's rare that they
Yes.
even look at each. And I don't know enough about musicals. Is that like something you're supposed to do during a musical? I know, like
I think you are supposed to cheat out. You're supposed to cheat out.
yeah,
and
it's called
so your
cheating out
voice
where you kind of like
projects.
face the audience a bit.
But the entire, like, do you do it the entire time, or?
You don't like look directly at the audience.
No,
like
you're
Mac
kind of
does.
diagonal.
Yeah, you're like diagonal.
I see.
So Mac will like straight up looked out at the audience.
Yeah.
And point
He's
to
pointing
somebody.
at people in the audience.
And then they start to do this. They start to do this fight scene, but right before it, they're like talking and they're like doing some dialogue, and like one of them says, "Don't improv," and like because they're kind of like going off on what they're saying, which is funny. I wish somebody would have gave me that advice as well.
Eric,
Yeah.
don't improv.
Don't improv. Yeah. And they start this fight scene here, like because they're arguing with each other as they're coming up to start this fight scene. But then once they start the fight scene, they're in like perfect tandem.
Yeah, they go from like this weird exchange where they're like almost arguing out of character, and like you even hear like, "Here's whatever, bitch," like,
Yeah.
and then like Matt gets scared that Dennis is like going off script, so that's when he says like, no improv, because
Yeah.
you know that could go down a real bad way if they just never went back to the script.
Right.
And then they do the choreographed.
And it's like there's like these two blocks, and Mac like hits Dennis in the chest, and it is just such a funny thing when Dennis like flies backwards.
Yeah, he like shimmies back to the end of the stage like it's a Mortal Kombat move or something.
Yeah, it's so funny, and like the music is so good. And then Mac does this awesome thing where he like turns back and he goes into like a Street Fighter stance, and he goes, woo! He does like a it's so cool and
he
funny
even
how he
like
does it.
jostles like up and down
he,
a bit.
He looks like a Street Fighter character. Like he's kind of like his body's moving like the way the characters move
that
before
like
you do anything.
constant movement.
Did you notice
yeah,
that
like
like
the-
Frank is just sitting in the background, like he's supposed to be dead, but he's just watching and like scratching his feet with the cane and
Yeah.
stuff.
I saw him scratching his feet with the cane. Yeah. So yeah, and then Dayman starts fighting back, and Nightman goes to throw a punch, and Mac yells out "body bag."
Yeah, I
Did you
caught
get
that.
What's that
Body
from?
I don't know why he says that.
I don't know either. Is that like a wrestling thing? Or
Body bag. No.
body bag, and Dennis catches his hand
Mhm.
and his fist, and he rips out the Nightman's heart. Which
Boom,
is this
boom.
is awesome. Like this is so awesome to have the heart like tucked inside and pull. This is,
Yeah.
like, it's funny. It's
Totally.
like,
And
it's-
with the he's like sort of like making it beep by
Yeah.
pump by like squeezing it. Then we
And
get
the
the keys in the
piano.
background. It's very like
Yeah.
dramatic. It's very successful, I think.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised Mac agreed to lose.
It's
I'm a little surprised Mac agreed to be killed. It's kind of like the thing. Like I could be totally wrong about this, but I think like Sylvester Stallone has only like died in like one movie or something. Like they have these things in their contract where they can't lose. Like when Vin Diesel fights The Rock in like the Fast and Furious movies, they have to like come to like a standstill, like a tie, because like one can't beat the other because they're egos. You know what I mean? Like they can't be shown losing on screen. You know what I mean?
I've heard a thing about like Vin Diesel like defending like his like because I feel like years ago he was known as like a muscle man guy.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. But the guy from Fast and Furious, his character, why he looks like the way he looks.
Yes, I think we listened to the same podcast that explained it.
Yeah.
But like he was
Yeah, say
saying
it.
like that, he's like the kind of guy that works on his cars and drinks Coronas and like so he's not supposed to be like totally cut. like no one asked Vin.
He's just cultivating mass.
Yeah.
So the Nightman has been defeated, and he's holding his beating heart.
The little piano trills. That's
So then Dee, as the princess, comes out and sings the Dayman song with Dennis as the rest of the cast join them. So Dee comes spinning out here.
Yeah, she's like, you defeated the evil that was here.
It's very strange that this is like just like you just said that thing. Like a character shouldn't just state the way they feel. And like she just goes, "You defeated like the evil, and I'm in love with you now." She just basically just says what is happening.
Right.
And did you notice Dennis throws the heart over the wall, like over the cardboard wall? Did you notice that?
That's true.
he does like a double punch throw.
Yeah, it's like a double punch throw. He could have thrown that on the bed. Like he could have done anything with that. He like throws it over the wall, which is so funny to me. I like, is that improvised? Like, what is that? And so they start. They sing now. They sing the Dayman song, the song from the previous episode where this all came from. And they sing basically that song basically only has that chorus. There's nothing
Right.
else to that song.
That's just like a repetitive, over and over again. Dayman, fight over the Nightman, champion of the sun, your master of karate, friendship for everyone.
Yeah, and they're doing
Damon.
this dance. They're doing this dance along with it, and Dee can't lift her arms. You can see Dee's,
Yeah,
like, struggling
that's right.
with
She's
her.
like lifting to her, like her hands to her shoulders every time.
And there's a point where like the song kind of kicks in, and like Mac gets up and joins, and Frank gets up and joins, and like everybody's kind of all singing here together.
Yeah, it kind of grows together. Like every time, like a verse, like repeats, like a little something more happens.
And they do it well. They pull it
Yeah.
off. I mean,
Totally. I think it's a grand slam ending.
and stage freeze.
You don't say stage freeze. Just do it.
Yeah, it's that is so funny, and that is so like Mac to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So then, as the play is wrapping up, Charlie descends from the ceiling and sings a song to the waitress that ends with him asking her for her hand in marriage.
I was that little boy, that little baby boy was me. I once was a boy, but now I am a man. I fought the night man, lived as day man. Now I'm here to ask for your hand. So if you want to marry, man, will you marry me? Will you come on stage and join me in this thing called matrimony? Please say yes and do not bone me, please. Just marry me.
Is that it? Is the play over?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, then I'm out of here.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. Is it a yes or
Is it a yes? Really, Charlie, will I marry you? No, I will not. I will never marry you. And I also held up my end of the bargain, so I never have to see you again.
Okay, so wait, I'm sorry, I want to get this clear. You are saying no.
Oh, I am definitely saying no.
Okay, well, I did never sign anything, so I'll see you tomorrow. That's it. You can go home. It's over.
Well, we're going to do a vow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
If you want.
It's a great musical, Charlie. You did a great job. She ain't worth it.
Especially nobody just writes a musical for no reason.
I am here. I am past here.
And by the way, I thought the rape scene went really well.
I am here. I am here with it, and that was awful for me. And if you bring this up back at the apartment tonight, I'm going to smack you. I swear to God.
Now, I gotta say, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like this truly makes me happy. Like this is like one of the funniest and like most fun, and just it made me laugh and smile every single time.
This is a lot of fun. I mean, he like explains the whole play, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like it's like a wrap up. It's like a summary.
Yes, and
But-
like now this is what I want to do. Like I was that little little boy.
That
I was
little
a
baby boy was me.
boy.
Now hold on. Let's at the beginning. So he comes descending down from the ceiling.
Right.
Like this is great stage.
What an entrance.
production. Like this is He's on this giant sun.
It's
and
like a
he's
sun
wearing-
throne. It's
It's
like,
like a sun throne.
and
And
he's
can you
all
guys-
in the yellow tuxedo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, explain to me what he's wearing. Can you guys explain to me what he's wearing?
A yellow tuxedo with like a white hat and a white cane and white shoes.
White shoes, yeah.
And a white collar too. Interesting.
Yeah.
It is
It's like an
crazy
impeccable
looking
outfit.
It really is. It's crazy looking though. It is like so like specific to what he's doing. It's like, where did he get that?
Yeah, that's like a homebrew of some sort. You don't just have those laying around at the costume store.
And I love it too when he comes down. He's coming down like unannounced. Like the gang are confused.
Yeah,
This is
the
totally,
gang is unaware of what's like happening right now. So, but they're kind of letting it go.
And he sings this amazing song. And I think my favorite line of it is the "Do not bone me." Did you catch that line?
Yeah. Please say yes and do not bone me, please.
It is so funny, like, and he finally ends it with it, like, he's so happy doing this too. And the waitress, that's it. It's over. Man, it's so cold. Like, it's just so cold how she does this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird thing to do.
Yeah, of course. He's a serial harasser. Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah, I don't believe in this like public thing to do, like a public proposal like this.
Well, this is very similar to how I proposed to Katie. I came down on that big contraption.
Oh, that's right. You
They lowered me down.
You really spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, I was in a big crane, and inside that crane, I was in a straitjacket in a pool of water.
Dressed as Iceman.
Just as Iceman. This is this big public thing, and like she doesn't even she really doesn't respond to it at all.
Right. She's kind of like, is that it? Is the play over?
And he still can't understand. So he's like, so is it a yes or And
Yeah.
she's like,
no, I will not. I
Yeah,
will never
you
marry
kidding
you.
me? And so she storms off, and he says, it's over. Everyone go home. It's over. And like, no, let's do a bow. Let's do a bow. And Charlie's like so defeated here.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
he doesn't
"Wow."
even want to do the bow, but like,
doesn't care.
Mac and D kind of want to do the bow.
And Frank is kind of being like, hey, it's all right, Charlie. You did a good play.
You know, he's so supportive.
He's like trying to be encouraging. Yeah, he's trying to be a little
He
encouraging.
says she's
He's
not
like,
worth it.
She's not worth it anyway.
Yeah, he does. It's funny. And they do a little bow, and they all like start leaving, and they get like an applause from the audience. Again, I don't know where this audience came from, but I mean, whatever they did did they charge these people? Did they make money? Like, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you could charge someone to go to see that, but
Well, Billy went.
It's expensive. They sold out. That sold out within 15 minutes. I was reading about it. I don't
bet.
know how I got a ticket to go to that, but
how much was it?
I don't remember, man. It was 2009, so
Do you think
11,
it was more than 50?
Yeah. It was
See,
probably
that's
like
a crazy amount of money then.
yeah.
And they start walking off stage there, and Frank's saying that he thinks it went well. And Charlie's like, he's still like, he's had it up to here. He's very frustrated. If he mentions that back at the apartment, he's gonna smack him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the credits. And I gotta ask you two gentlemen, what is your favorite character? Billy, would you like to go first?
Sure. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to say Charlie, so I'll answer for all three of us. Charlie was my favorite character. He was
I think you're right.
amazing.
Yes, Charlie's my favorite.
He the whole episode was Charlie-centric, and you don't get too many of those, and it's great when you do because he's such a lovable, terrible person.
That's true.
Yeah, I think you're right. He does tread that line of being like, the things he does is pretty bad sometimes, but it's kind of overlooked by his charm.
He's charming.
And what is your favorite scene, Ross?
Oh, I'll go with, outside of like the play activity, I'm going with Dennis and Dee rehearsing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Billy?
I agree. I think it was when Charlie was just ripping into Dee, that scene of like
Okay, yeah,
I think
that's a good
what
one,
Ross
yeah.
said. You know, like the whole
The big blow up from Charlie.
Oh, so great.
I mean, it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and I think I might go with the fight scene, the fight scene between Dennis and Mac.
Okay.
There's something about that fight scene, the way he flies back, and,
Yeah.
woo! And like just like the way that like I don't know, it's like really fun. It reminds me of a fun improv scene. Like, that would be like,
Yeah.
a fun scene.
I
to
can
do.
see that happening.
And what is your favorite line of dialogue, Ross?
Well, I think I already mentioned it during the episode, but another one that I do think is pretty well worth it. You can't tell me what to do.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Just because he's so confident and boneheaded at the same time.
Billy, what do you got?
slap your face off of your face.
Slap your face off your face. Yeah,
pretty,
that's good.
pretty popular one.
I think I'm going to go with, it's just a little one for me. It's something I always remember from this episode. I'm going to go with he said no gum. There's like something about that where like there's been a pre-established thing about gum. I don't know.
Right.
And that leads us straight into the IMDb Trivia Challenge. These are 3 trivia facts. 2 of them are made up by me. 1 of them is from the website IMDb. Ross and Billy, if you could please pick the correct one, the one that is not made up by me. Number 1. Those were stunt doubles for the Dayman and Nightman fight. Number 2. There is 45 minutes of footage cut from this episode. Number 3. The play Nightman Cometh became a real-life limited engagement play based entirely on this episode.
Oof. Billy, what do you think?
I think it was the stunt double one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, you can't...
No, I think you're right, because we don't want the actors to actually get hurt. They're too
Yeah,
valuable.
like, you're gonna rip his heart out, he would die, and then he can't be on the show
Right.
anymore.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right,
going to go
yeah.
with
You
number
pay
1.
people for that.
Yeah, number 1.
That is incorrect. It is actually number
fuck.
3. The play Nightman Cometh became a real-life limited engagement play based entirely on this episode. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I love
Pretty
it.
Yeah.
So I got to ask your final thoughts, guys. This episode, this tiny ep, little ep, baby ep, you want to make love to this episode, or you want to smack this episode's face off its face?
I absolutely want to make love to it.
I mean, this is a grand slam. I mean, this is without a doubt, like, phenomenal. I mean, this has got a 9.7 on IMDb out of 5,000, like, votes. That's pretty strong.
It was hard for me to pull clips from this because I wanted every scene to be the clip. Like, every single scene is funny. None of it drags. And this episode is over before you know it. It's like...
Yeah.
It's
like
crazy.
You're right. Every scene is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering what you were gonna pull for clips.
It's all them, too. There's no, like, other than the, what's her name, the older lady?
Gladys?
Artemis and
Gladys, yeah. It's just all characters from the show.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Ian, this is the season finale, which also means it's our season finale.
Right.
Maybe we should just wrap this up, talk about the season as a whole a little bit here.
Cool.
Why don't we do that thing where we go? Give me the name of the episode, and we'll give one thing we remember, the first thing we remember from that episode, as like a little like what we took away from those episodes.
This is gonna sound like a million years ago. Okay.
And what I know because we've been doing every 2 weeks.
I know. Season 4, episode 1. Mac and Dennis, Manhunters.
First thing I think about is them in the cardboard box for some reason. Them in the cardboard box with all the beers around.
I think of John Rambo.
Billy?
Just how they drew first blood. Like, whenever I think of Rambo, I don't even think I've seen Rambo, but just that
Yeah,
line
you know
stands
that.
out to
It's
me.
weird.
Yeah.
I am gonna hunt you.
Yeah.
Cricket. Season 4, episode 2. The gang solves the gas crisis.
This is I think of the fireball. I think of them blowing the fireball when they're like selling the gas. Like I'll just count it. I'll just count it as it flows in.
I think of that's a baby monitor, Frank. You
gonna people bugging their babies.
A baby monitor?
Babies can't be trusted.
The fireball for me, definitely. Like, how wasn't one of the characters immediately did a 180 where they didn't want to do a fireball and then he did it, and then
that was Dennis. Yeah, he's like, oh, I gotta say, I was totally wrong. That was awesome. Yeah. What do you get for the next one?
Season 4, episode 3. America's Next Top Patty's Billboard Model Contest.
Oh yeah, that was I think of I think of Rex
Me
and
too.
having a bird that won't quit. Like him like when Max showing off Rex. You see this physique right here? Have we popped those pants off?
There's an outtake from that where Max says, instead of bird, he says sweaty hog. I bet if you pop those pants off, you're going to find a sweaty hog that won't quit. And Dennis, loses his mind.
That was improv,
Yeah.
right? Like, just Dennis's reaction. I was on that episode with you guys, wasn't I?
Oh, I believe you were.
Maybe. I
think
mean,
you were.
there's probably a good chance that you were, and I forgot.
I've been on, like, hundreds at this point. I think my favorite one was the picture of Dennis when he's dressed up as a donkey and the face that he has.
Yeah, donkeys are no longer sexy to me.
that line is incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Season 4, episode 4, Max banging the waitress.
Oh, I gotta remember that when I love the scene where when Charlie first comes over and he's like, "Oh, we could play Connect 4," and he's like, "Ah, it's a lot."
Oh my
of
god, that
counting."
scene is incredible.
Yeah, and he's like, "It's not that much counting."
Yeah, Dennis is trying to like find ways to interact and hang out with Charlie, and Charlie is like stonewalling him. It's so sad.
I can't remember the line, but it's something like he wants to be
I was thinking
me,
the same thing.
dressed as you, getting banged by me, or something
Whoa,
like that.
that's like role play.
He wants to be you, getting banged by me in your apartment.
And they act like it's a
Yeah,
big
that's
revelation. They're like, they're like all shocked by that.
All right, season 4, episode 5, Mac and Charlie Die, part 1.
I think of them running at the car, shooting the gun in the dress.
I know. I was thinking that dress. You know, what do you think that dress is doing nowadays? So sad. Someone should be after that dress.
So sad. Yeah.
I sent a picture to Ross like the other day of a still from that scene of them walking towards the car. And Charlie has the funniest stink face on, like while he's holding the poppers up to his
posture
nose.
is weird too. It's like a Yosemite Sam posture.
It's like the face you would make if you were the one shooting. Like
Exactly.
He's taking part in it as well.
What else you got?
Mac and Charlie Die, part 2.
Part 2. I kind of think of it's gonna be the opening when Dennis is like, "I'm not burning the dust up."
Oh my God, you're right. You're right.
That is.
That and Jan.
Oh yeah,
Jan's in that
Jan.
episode,
Jan.
right?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God. Pa, get out, lady.
Is that the one where Frank has the doll of Charlie?
Yes.
And then they're like, "Dude, did you bang that thing?"
No.
Yeah. That is so funny. Yeah.
Who pooped the bed?
I think of Artemis's wrap up at the end.
Yeah.
Her couple different stories.
I think you're right. That and like the ladies hanging out together, doing some wild stuff around town. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I almost wish that was longer.
Yeah.
Is that the one where the waitress just gets obliterated drunk?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. What does she say?
I don't like this bitch's attitude.
Tries to bottle her.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
Hold your boobs better. Season 4, episode 8, Patty's Pub, the worst bar in Philadelphia.
I mean, all I can think of was Corman and how much I don't like him.
Yeah, I know. He's so unlikable.
He's the worst.
Yeah. Or I guess if I had to think of like some dialogue or something, it would probably be like, "Oh, I put him in the trunk and drove him around the block a few times so he wouldn't know where he was."
I've never been more serious about anything in my entire life.
All right. What else you got?
Dennis Reynolds, An Erotic Life.
I gotta think of. Ain't no one around here, Jesus. So for me, I'm Jesus. Sinbad. I mean, it's all Sinbad. That is like
Sinbad shines.
His headshot in a frame.
Oh yeah, I signed my headshot for you. Sign it for you later.
Oh man. This is Rob Thomas. Sing a song. Shut up.
All right, next one. This is episode 10. Sweet D has a heart attack.
I think of Frank taking a spin and saying, "I gotta let my ass breathe." I don't know why, but that is the first thing that pops in my head. Even though it's
How
Pepe
does an
Silvia,
ass breathe? You keep saying that.
But this is the Pepe Silvia and all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
They did
Pepe
a spin-
Sylvia is a huge...
The spin class?
What's
Is
that?
that the spin class with the Steve Winwood
yes,
CD?
this is that. That's that
Oh,
too.
so
That's a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, really.
I love that spin class scene. Then we got the gang cracks the Liberty Bell. Do you want this up? the George Washington photo,
Oh,
the painting.
yeah.
Do you want that up?
That's so funny. I thought you were really pointing to something. Like, do
Oh,
you want
no.
like I thought you were saying like, do you want me to put my screen up so you can see what episode's next?
No.
Yeah, that's yeah, the George Washington thing. Yeah, that's right. That is very funny. And I also think of Cricket's head getting blown up.
Well,
That's what-
that like
what I think of.
CGI.
Yeah,
they're
Billy?
always spitting in his face throughout the episode too.
Yeah,
right?
spitting
Oh my
on him.
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, he's like, yeah, spit on him. Or Dennis being, surrender, maybe.
I love that line. All right, next one. The gang gets extreme home makeover edition.
I gotta think of Dennis. Look how low he can go. And he can go lower.
Oh, I can go lower.
I was thinking of that actually the other day because I was working on the house and just like smashing apart a old ass chimney, and that episode just kept popping into my head.
Were your legs able to do the work that they needed to do?
Yeah, I wore my cutoffs. Absolutely.
You were getting a high rise, but
Yeah.
you were able to do the work that you needed to do.
It's a more authentic look. And I guess the last one is this episode, right?
Yeah. And we
And
wrapped
of course, this is just the play. I mean, you think of the play. It's like them singing the song. I think of D being like, I think of D specifically like being like 8 or 9 out of 10, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that weird like it kind of doesn't flow that well. 8 or 9 out of 10.
And overall, this was probably this is like an incredibly strong season, right? I mean, we had 2 episodes where I personally don't love,
Me
but
too.
the other episodes are so strong.
Which ones?
I don't like Who Pooped the Bed and Patty's Pub, Worst Bar in America.
Yeah, I didn't
Worst
like
Bar in
Who Pooped the
Philadelphia.
Bed either.
On the record,
I
you
liked it,
them.
but
I did not.
Well, on the record, I like them, but like if I'm going through the rotation, like if I'm popping an episode on, I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
they're not
do
making
those.
it.
What was your guys' favorite episode of the season? Would you say?
Mine's gonna be Nightman Cometh.
Either Nightman Cometh or
Pepe Sylvia.
Mac and Charlie Die Part 2.
Oh, that's a good one. This whole thing.
I know,
has
it's so hard to
Yeah.
pick.
Episode.
It really is, because
I forgot about the scene at the beginning where they're at the parole board. I'm going to
Yes.
tell the parole board dickheads.
the parole board dickheads.
And anything with Luther. Luther is
Yeah.
the best character on the show, I think. He's just...
His
Yeah.
acting is incredible.
He is... And just like the way he looks, man, he's terrifying, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared of him in real life.
And the name Luther is the perfect name.
It's a ruthless name.
It's such a... It's ruthless, thank you. Because it kind of sounds like ruthless.
Yeah. Get the ooth in it.
And before we get completely out of here, we got to talk about this because it's the end of the season. So we got to talk about the backwards message that they always play at the end of the shows with their like company logo, and they play something backwards.
That's right.
So right now, this is what it sounds like backwards. And this is what it sounds like forwards.
Clown baby brown clown, clown baby brown clown.
And they're saying clown baby brown clown, clown baby brown clown.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, all of them
Cl-
have been iterations of clowns and brown.
Isn't Clown Baby the name of Charlie when he's fighting?
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, the clown baby.
They also have a thing for brown cats too, with the priest.
Yeah,
Father
so
O'Grady.
and we've talked about it before, but every season they change it up, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty fun little thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We did it
That's
once.
cool.
We did it on our first.
No one decoded our message.
No one ever decoded our message. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I guess that's going to do it for us here at the Always Sunny Cast. Us here for this season. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We appreciate the patience with the 2 weeks or whatever. That just alleviated some editing, and like we're recording this right now on a Saturday, and I got to have this edited for Wednesday. So yeah, it's nice to get a little break in between there.
Yeah, I'd like to also say, like, a lot of people reached out this season. I feel like a lot of people are like finding this podcast, like this, spring and summer. Like, so I think people have been like binging on listening.
Yeah.
So do expect, like, yes, we will be back. There might be like an intermission of a month to give us like a nice little break.
I would say we're probably not going to be back to after the holidays, right?
Okay, yeah, then that's what it is.
Yeah, we'll probably be back at the beginning.
That's
of
what
next year.
it is.
And but in the meantime, please reach out to us. We love hearing from you guys. The email is alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com, and the Instagram is alwayssunnycastpod.
Nope.
And no,
That's
it's not
a different podcast's handle.
You know what? Go there and say hi to them too. But then pop on over to us, which is what is ours?
Ours is at the Always Sunny Cast Pod. Always Sunny
Okay,
Cast
yeah.
Pod is a different podcast.
Okay, yeah, and basically email, Instagram. That's how. If you're emailing, you're talking to me. If you're Instagramming, you're talking to Ross. Just so if you know that.
If it matters.
Oh yeah, no, I think people might want to reach out specifically to you, tell you how much I suck. You never know.
I send you all the messages.
Don't send me those. I don't even want to know. And Billy, you have anything to plug before we get out of here?
Nothing. Thanks for having me on. I miss you guys. I haven't talked to you guys in a really long time. So,
Miss you too. Yeah, this is a good way for us to stay in touch now that you moved out of the country.
yeah, every couple of months we can do a call.
Yeah. You have to stay up to midnight. Yeah, it's nice. Well, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Don't worry, we will be back. In the meantime, I don't know. Go back and re-listen to some of our episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And until then, a good day,
Good day to you.
to use.
Always Sunny Cast is not endorsed or affiliated with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the FXX Network, or Philadelphia. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Eric Regan and Ross Northrop. Email thoughts, questions, suggestions, corrections, or things we just plain forgot to alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. And if you have a moment, please rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. And as always, thanks for listening, you jabronis.